Good evening. Welcome to the workshop session of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley-Broom. We have a full quorum with council members Mackenzie, Karn, Arnold, and Gay, and so we will call the workshop to order at 6:05 p.m. However, we do have consensus from the group that we have some very special guests this evening who cannot stay with us until the regular session because they've got exams, but we want to celebrate them at this time. And so we are going to come on down to celebrate the Tri-Cities state champion boys basketball team.
We don't have a photographer. The photographer's not here yet. City photographer's not here.
What about the regular communications team?
We got to get somebody in.
Okay.
You're going to take it, Michelle, and give it to them?
Antoinette.
I know Antoinette is somewhere.
Dr. E. I think Antoinette's here.
I don't know that this is on. Ashley's right here. Here we go. Mr. Curry, I don't think the microphone is working. There's not a light on.
Check 1, 2.
All right, there we go. All right, thank you so much. Whereas the Tri-Cities Bulldogs varsity boys basketball team rolled to a 66-55 victory over the Woodward Academy War Eagles, winning the boys 5A Georgia High School Association State Championship at the Macon Coliseum Centerplex in Macon, Georgia in March 2025. And whereas Tri-Cities avenged two earlier losses to Woodward and split the season series 2-2, winning the most important game, the state championship, the Bulldogs' third in the past 7 years. Whereas Tri-Cities face-guarded Clemson signee Zach Foster in the second half, limiting him to 14 points, just 5 in the second half. And whereas Woodward Academy led 27-25, but Tri-Cities won the third quarter with a 19-13 quarter and inched ahead 44-40 leading into the fourth, closing on a 4-0, limiting him to 14 points, just 5 in the second half. And whereas the largest lead of the game going into the fourth was just 5 points, but the Bulldogs broke it open with an 11-0 run to spring ahead 57-46 with just 1 minute, 30 seconds left. And whereas Trey Keith finished with 14 points, while Georgia Southern signee Sean Van Dorn tallied 18 points, 11 coming in the decisive fourth quarter. And whereas Jalen Wingfield was the championship's game's most valuable player with 20 points and 22 rebounds. Whereas the championship team consisted of players Quintavian Thurman, Trey Keith, Corbin Wilbur, Carby Martin, Dylan Johnson, Andrew Jones, Khalid Jones, Jalen Wingfield, Chris Cottle, Kamari Greer, Sean Van Dorn, Lonnie Brown, and John Morris. The team was coached by head coach Omari Forts and assistant coaches Garrett Henry, Jonathan Burke, Ray Goolsby, and Tony Dorsey. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park that the Tri-Cities Bulldogs boys varsity basketball team is recognized for their hard work, dedication, and accomplishments as Georgia High School Association state champions in the state of Georgia. Proclaimed this 5th day of May, 2025.
Just want to thank the city of College Park. Thank you guys. Thank you, Mayor. Great season. Proud of these young men. And one of the reasons why we kind of had to get out of here, and we appreciate you guys for moving your agenda for us, is because every gentleman that stands before you, we take pride in their grades, and everybody in our entire program has a 3.0 or higher GPA. And that's something that we pride ourselves on, and it's really important for us. So we have a couple of them that really need to get these grades up in the morning. So we wanted to make sure that they get home at a reasonable hour. So we really appreciate you guys changing your agenda today. So thank you very much. And thank you guys, and thanks to the community. We appreciate you guys always.
All right. All right.
Agenda item 1, discussion on a request for a special event permit to host community health fair and field day by Restart City Center Church on May 24th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Charles E. Phillips Park. This item is requested by Queenie Brown, Deputy City Clerk. This event is located in Ward 4.
Is there anyone here for the Community Health Fair and Field Day?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you all today?
Doing well. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. We would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak on tonight.
If you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Apostle Tom Anderson with Restart City Center Church of Atlanta.
And I'm Executive Pastor Jasmine Ware.
Welcome.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
All right. We would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you on tonight. My name again is Executive Pastor Jasmine Ware, and I am here representing Restart City Center. I come before you with both excitement and an invitation, one that I hope we will deepen and share our commitment to the community engagement and wellness. On May 24th, we will be hosting our Community Day. This is a free event designed to bring together the residents of all ages in a spirit of unity, health, and celebration. We would be honored to have the City of College Park partner with us for this event. We are proud to have already partnered with organizations such as Grady Counseling and Solutions, Community MD, Health MD, Height Health, and Speed Auto Sales, as well as a variety of community vendors. These partners are helping us to create a vibrant and inclusive day filled with meaningful resources and joyful activities. A small glimpse into what we have planned for that day: we have free haircuts offered by licensed local barbers, barbecue and free food for all attendees, a bounce house and family-friendly fun for the children, raffles, giveaways, and yes, we are giving away a free car. We will also have games and kickball. This is more than just a fun day. It is a way to support families, uplift local businesses, and offer vital resources in a relaxed, festive environment. We believe the City of College Park's involvement would be a powerful show of support. Whether through promotion, presence, or partnership, your engagement would amplify the impact of this event and signal the community that the city stands with them. We'd love to discuss how we can collaborate to make this Community Day a success together. Thank you again for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Any questions, Mayor Pro Tem?
No, thank you. Just want to thank you for bringing this event, and I think this will really benefit our families. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Councilmember Carr?
Sounds like a great event. Do you have like a flyer
We do.
put together?
We have a flyer. It's gonna be printed out on a cardstock that will go around once we got the approval from you guys.
Well, city manager, you just make sure that communications has a copy of the flyer so we can get it out to residents. It sounds like a good time.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. I'm excited about this event and I'm looking forward to it. And if we can receive it electronically, that would help too. Then for our constituents that are on our list, we can send out communication about the event as well. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I was just notified that the order of the agenda for the workshop was incorrect. So I'm going to read through the correct agenda. The next item is the presentation funding for summer golf camp at the historic College Park Golf Course, Ward 2, sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
Okay.
Ms. Shields.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
So I'm excited. We brought several programs. My name is Roberta Shields. I'm the president of the Ludicrous Foundation. I see a lot of familiar faces here. We've been working with College Park. The foundation's been doing what they do for more than 25 years. Most recently, we did a Christmas event with you all. We did a drive putt and chip. We've done the drive putt and chip probably for the last 4 years at historic College Park. And Councilman McKenzie said, I'd love to get our youth engaged in the next step for golf. We had more than 133 youth come out. We had a lot of support from College Park in terms of getting the work out on your kiosks, through your Instagram. The kids had a great time, and we've been working with Michelle Thompson at Parks and Recreation. So as we envision this camp this summer, we would work with the Parks and Recreation with their summer program. So they have a 6-week summer program. We would do our golf program every other week because they've got events where they go off. And so we're just kind of meshing well. We want to make sure we align. We want to make sure that we're bringing to your community events that fit well within your already structures. So I believe you have a presentation in front of you. So I'll give you a moment and you ask me questions instead of me just reiterating what's there.
All
What
right.
questions might you have?
We'll start with Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, first of all, Ms. Roberta, I just want to thank you again. Last year, we talked about this during the drive putt and chip, and here we are now getting ready to start this amazing program that is going to introduce our youth to the sport of golf. And then those who are already golfing, they'll get another opportunity. So I just want to thank your foundation for being willing to do this. We know that the cost of the program is, I think, $35,000, and we're giving 20, and you all are doing the rest, which is probably going to come out to more than 35. But we do appreciate you, and I just want to say thank you because I know you just got off a plane from being out of the country and came straight here. So we just appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Carr?
Thank you, Miss Roberta, for making it in. So you flew in internationally. I know your wings must be tired.
Yeah, she's tired.
All right, well, we're glad to have you. The Luda Christmas was amazing. I hate I missed this golf event. I heard it was really spectacular. We want to do a whole lot more with our hometown folks. Goes without saying, so I'm 100% on board with this. This summer, we are also having our Boys to Men Summit, Rites of Passage Summit. And that's something we definitely want the foundation to participate. We're going to have all our young men on a Saturday workshop at the sports arena where the Hawks and the WNBA play. So it's going to be an exciting time. But with you all involved, it would be even more exciting. So we definitely would like to I'll follow up with you on that as well.
Okay, Councilman Hart.
Councilmember Arnold?
I think this is an amazing and wonderful initiative. Anytime that young people get the opportunity to be exposed to a sport that is different from others, and golf is one of those where we see our young people excel. So I am glad to see this initiative, and I'm looking forward to see what type of wins they're going to bring and how we're going to celebrate them in the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your commitment to our city.
Okay,
It's unparalleled.
Excel and excellence is the core of what we do at the foundation. And you didn't ask, but the teachers are going to be PGA trained.
Yes.
So we're going to make sure that we are giving them top of the line training in this program. And we're taking care of the transportation back and forth. That's part of the funding that we do.
Yes.
So if there's no more questions, I thank
Yeah,
you.
I just want to also say what we did not say is where we're going with this. We want to have our own golf team as well. So this is just the beginning of identifying and introducing golf to our youth. And the end goal is that we have our own College Park golf team.
Absolutely. Our kids can play this game. We've got kids that have never played it before and done the drive putt and chip and went toe-to-toe with the first tee kids who've been doing it 5 to 6 years. There's a natural ability, and it's kind of what they see they can do, what they see they can be.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
Thank you so much.
Next agenda item is the Cultural Arts Council presentation provided by Recreation and Cultural Arts with Cultural Arts Committee Chair Beverly Rodriguez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I wanted to introduce Beverly Rodriguez. She is our chair for our Cultural Arts Committee, and we just wanted to bring some updates in a presentation just to kind of give an overview what we've been working hard on. And Beverly has done a great job at that, so I know she wants to speak to you on that. So.
I would like to thank our distinguished mayor and city council for allowing us the opportunity to participate in today's workshop. My name, again, is Beverly Rodriguez, and I am the chair of the College Park Cultural Arts Committee. Before I begin, I want to first congratulate someone who is due high honors for her hard work, diligence, and commitment to her constituents and the overall city of College Park. Her accomplishment in bringing the College Park's Juneteenth parade and celebration to Godby Road is nothing short of amazing. Today, we are honored to have Ward 3 Councilwoman Tracy Arnold as our 2025 Juneteenth Parade Grand Marshal. Congratulations. Again, the purpose of our participation today is to simply update the city by presenting a general overview on where we've been, where we are now, and where we want to go in regards to the programs under the auspices of the Cultural Arts Council. In addition, we want to go over past and current structure of the Cultural Arts Committee, programming outline for recreation and cultural arts, establish programs, future programs, and the need for specific support from Mayor and Council. Under the guise of the recreation and cultural arts, the Council facilitated various programs, events, and endeavors. Under the Council, the Black History Program was established as a vision of Ms. Jessie Phillips to bring about awareness and education on College Park's Black History. The first event was launched February 2017 and was financially supported solely by Ms. Phillips. On March 5th, 2018, the program gained recognition from Mayor and Council. The committee members included David Cole, Andrea McDaniel, Heather Wilkerson, and Sabrina Willis. The mission of the Cultural Arts Council for the City of College Park is to incorporate the arts in the everyday lives of College Park citizens and businesses by providing innovative programmatic advice, promoting civil engagement, encouraging collective problem solving, building bridges between cultures, and serving as a catalyst for artistic endeavors and opportunities. The past structure of the Cultural Arts Committee, the committee members served on a voluntary basis. Anyone was allowed to join at any time. The committee would meet every month, and we had consistent need of attendance. The budget for the committee requests budget funding from recreation and cultural arts, and it operates on an approved budget funded by Mayor and Council. Additional funding was received in 2020 through 2024 from the Fulton County Arts and Culture Grant Awards. 2020, the amount was $6,500. 2021, $12,500. 2023, $34,000. And 2024 was $15,500. Programming outline for recreation and cultural arts. Budget set is approved of Mayor and Council. Programming outline is set to establish the venue, date, and time of each event with approval of Mayor and Council. The Cultural Arts Committee assists the Cultural Arts Department, their mission for the committee. The committee also recommends ideas for new programming and assists in executing events and programs such as the Black History Program, the International Women's Day event, and the Juneteenth parade and celebration, etc. The structure, as stated before, for the Cultural Arts Council was that there was no guidelines for joining as a committee member, no limited number of members, no mission statement, rules, policies, guidelines were established. No attendance policy was put in place. However, we are seeking to set up the Cultural Arts Council. We're seeking to recommend a few things to set up the council. Official, volunteer, or appointee process. Volunteer processes or process through human resources or appointees of Mayor and Council, 2 per. Limited members, chair, vice chair, secretary, treasury, recreation staff, guidelines and policies be set, and a policy be set for monthly attendance. Establish cultural arts programs. Black History. Our Black History program is in February. The budget, $35,000. The Women's Day celebration was set in March. The budget was $8,000. And the Juneteenth parade and celebration is set, of course, in June, and the budget was 20,000. Future programming. We look forward to engaging in the Hispanic Heritage Month, which runs between September and October, the Atlanta Pride Day, October. Men's Day is in November, and we look forward to planning for new programming. We have needs for successful programming. The Mayor and Council setting the space for programming. Our Black History program in February, we need extra assistance with making sure that we have our venue set, either at the GICC or the arena. We would like to have our Black History program the third Saturday in February each year, and we would like assistance with establishing that. The Juneteenth parade and celebration, we have ongoing talks about setting a date and a location if it's something that we're going to do each year. The current structure of our Cultural Arts Council's committee, our existing members consist of members that have been committed to assisting on the council. Our existing Cultural Arts Council members include Miss Jessie Phillips, Miss Sabrina Willis, Dr. Chisulo Ajanaku, Beverly Bearden, Dr. Val Mulaney Ajanaku, Beverly Rodriguez, Shanice Willis Lewis, Ikea Willis, and FOA representatives. And with the Recreation Department, we've been working closely with Brian Anderson and Derisha Brunson. Preliminarily, we worked on our mission statement, which I read earlier, and we're currently working on rules, regulations, policies, and guidelines, and we will make sure that those things are approved by city's legal department. Committee members currently serve on a voluntary basis, and we're welcoming volunteers, which will be vetted through the city, and our committee will meet each month, and we'll work on establishing attendance guidelines. We are working diligently on current and approaching programs and events. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Rodriguez, for your presentation. Seeing this, I guess we started, like I said, as the Black History Committee, and now it's become Cultural Arts Committee, and just it's good to see it grow. I've been involved with this particular committee since Ms. Jessie Phillips was planning Black History programs, and it's good to see what you're doing. I do have some questions. In the presentation, under Women's Day celebration for March, it said your budget was 3,000, but you said 8,000. So what is it?
Yeah, it was three. It was a new program we started last year very quickly, and so when I set the budget, we weren't sure if it was going to be a reoccurring at that time, so I set it at 3,000.
So it'll be 3,000 for 2026.
I'll have to look at what I put in for it. I believe it went to 5 is what I need to check on. I'll check on that for you.
Okay. And then also with the Juneteenth celebration, I saw 15,000 in the presentation, but you said 20,000. So what are we looking at for that?
So I believe it was set for the 20,000 for the 2026, and I normally do half from the city and half from Fulton County Arts and Culture, but that we'll wait on that award amount too. So whatever gets added on to that. And they reduced the amount that we went from 2024 to 2025. So we'll see what that happens with the application that I put in.
And I guess the other question is, in terms of the new configuration for the committee, I noticed that you were saying that you wanted to have either council appointees or some type of volunteers. Would that be, you're looking at us possibly appointing persons in the beginning of the year, which means that those persons would be stipend as well?
But so this was not, we looked back to when this was established. It was established as a cultural arts committee, and that list that was in there was they were to be appointees, but it didn't represent all the wards. So that's why we're really coming to you. We want to make sure we're getting input throughout the whole community. But what we were having difficulty with, and I think Beverly can tell you, some people coming on and not staying on, we really needed a committed group to bring in all the community's input from all the wards. So right now, Beverly did reach out to the committees that were on there to make sure that they had a commitment so that they were consistently, so we could keep moving forward. And if we want to go to a board, then we would address that. And we wanted to hear kind of the input and the feedback from mayor and council on what do you want this to look like so that we can have input overall. But Beverly has stepped in and has really tried to get everybody that's on there committed to coming and being on there, because it's important as we move forward that we have those commitment and they're all up to speed on what we're doing on a month-to-month basis.
No, I love the idea of having persons appointed from throughout the city, because this way you are getting, representation from the city. What I was saying, what I was alluding to is that the practice that we have for the boards that we assign people normally in the city there's a stipend for those individuals. So as you're looking at your budget, if that's the direction you want to go in, you also want to put in mind some type of stipend for your board members.
Okay, that's a good point.
Councilmember Carter?
Thank you, Miss Beverly, for coming out. Wonderful as always. Glad to see you on board the team and leading the charge. We got a good program, and the more community involvement we have, the better it's going to get. So,
Exactly.
hey, keep going.
Thank you.
All right.
Councilmember Arnold?
First of all, thank you. Thank you so much for nominating me as the Grand Marshal. I appreciate that. I really
You
do.
deserve it.
And I am like the Mayor Pro Tem. I think that it's a great thing to have appointees from the community. That way you will have, I think that when we do our appointees, they're usually there for a period of time. And so that would establish some consistency and reliability. So I am looking forward to what that looks like. I'm sure that we will probably have to get it all drawn up to identify how many members we would have on this committee and so on and so forth. But I really like that idea. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gay?
I don't have any questions, but I want to thank you all for recognizing Pamela in the meeting of moms. She cares for moms out of town, but I want to extend a thank you for that. Appreciation, and thank you for allowing our Ward 4 person to be the chair.
They got to want to do it too.
All right, well, thank you so much. Appreciate all of your efforts and everything that you're doing to help us build this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next agenda item is a presentation is establishment of a farmer's market in Ward 1, sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
Ms. Holly Rodriguez is going to come and share.
Good evening.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. All right, so I'm here to present to you guys bringing a farmer's market to College Park. So as you know, DeKalb Farmer's Market is the one that everyone has to truck to go get fresh fruits and vegetables, or we do have the Forest Park Farmer's Market. I believe here in College Park it would be great to have one here locally where people, they have layovers, they can go right to the farmer's market, get fresh fruits or vegetables, maybe hang out for a little while there. So this project would bring fresh fruits and vegetables, locally sourced. It would help local farms. It would engage the community because we could teach classes there, we could do meal prep, and just help our community be healthier. In launching this program, there was 2 options that we had. To start out, we could start out here at the atrium where we could have vendors come out and they could set up here and people on Main Street could see it. The second option was we could get land and set up a permanent location for the community to come to. So those options have 2 different prices on them. The temporary one where we set up and break down weekly would be $13,000, and the permanent one would start at $40,000, but it would be, the city would be investing in just helping get the land get the soil tested, get everything acclimated so that we can start. My company, Sugar's Urban Farm, we would run the day-to-day task of the farmer's market. Either way, either choice that you guys do. So with this, the key benefits for College Park would be food accessibility. It would give access to fresh produce. It would help address the food desert that we have here, and it would promote a healthier lifestyle. It would cause economic growth. It would generate revenue for small businesses, local farmers, while attracting people to College Park. It would create jobs here in College Park for residents around. It would give cultural and social engagement by hosting the workshops, cooking demonstrations. We would have family-friendly events there. It would help with our environment because we would be using eco-friendly products. We would reduce food waste, transportation where our residents have to drive further to go get fresh fruits and vegetables. As far as being sustainable, it would reduce, we would reduce waste because we would have a compost program where the neighbors could bring and community could bring their waste and we would compost it. So we would help with that aspect of it. It would energy efficient, like we would use solar power for certain things. It would be locally grown resources. So to break down the fees, the land assessment we're estimating to be around $10,000. Business development strategy, $7,500. Permits and regulations, $5,500. Planning, we estimate that at $12,000. Community engagement planning at $5,000. To run the market yearly, on us, it would range between $115,000, just depending on what all we have going on, but we would take on that cost for that as far as getting grants and implementing. To implement this program, we would look at the land, find out where College Park believes is a good place for it to go. We would obtain the necessary permits and licensing. We would recruit vendors and do local outreach. The second phase would be to launch marketing and we would let the public know, be aware of everything. We would host informational sessions with the community to build community interest and see exactly what the community wants to see at the market. The final plan would be to get the vendors, sign agreements with them, host a grand opening, and open for business with the community. In conclusion, our goal is just to bring health and wellness here to College Park, to have a fun green area for people to come to and just have fun and live healthy. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Holly. You gave us a lot of information, but it's not in the packet, in the presentation that we have. So, what is it actually that you are, I guess we're gonna need some more information. I mean, from my part, I'm gonna need some more information because I think it's a great idea to have a farmer's market. It sounds like you're suggesting a actual fixed location for the farmer's market, because when you talked about composting, that type of thing, that would be on if the city were to invest in property for that. So
Yes.
that part, I didn't see anything on that. But in terms of the bringing a market to the city on the lawn or something like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I think I'm the most that we have here.
Okay.
So- no,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of want to get the two
Okay.
things that you're saying.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if we just wanted to have a market where we could have different vendors come, or businesses come and or farmers come and bring their, what are we talking about then?
Okay, so yes, if we have a local farmers market, i.e.
Like East
example
Point.
like East Point, yeah, where the vendors just come, the initial investment for College Park would just be to get the structural, to make sure we have the staff to run it and tables and all those things so that it could be uniform and we could run it successfully. The breakdown of that is $13,085 when
For
I
the
did
year?
the research. No, that's just a setup. That would be a one-time cost.
Okay.
Councilmember Carn?
Thank you, Ms. Holly.
You're welcome.
Sounds like a great idea. We are in the food desert, so the more health and nutrition we can bring into this community, the better off we're all gonna be, so, yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you for the presentation. I would like to see the updated materials as well with the breakdown, the cost of the proposed cost of the land that will be needed.
Okay.
And I would have liked to see some, I guess there may have been a presentation that may have had some images or something to show what it was going to look like. I'd like to see that too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Councilmember Gay?
Well, thank you for the presentation. I'll make a couple of recommendations. I think the model that they use next door at East Point, I think that's probably a easier way to get started and get more people vetted. I guess you should use your resources, our resources, to you in finding out who those people are. Because I go by there and they got a lot of different vendors from all, I didn't realize that. So I would start there on city-owned land. It could be a city hall, or it could be at one of our Vita lots. That would be my recommendation. Even down there at the Pure Gas Station until they get it together. You could be down there.
I like that too.
And then I will tell you that Full to Fresh also provides fruits and vegetables. They come out of Camp Truett, so you may want to get with them.
Okay.
And I think the Favors House also provides. So all y'all need to be talking together.
Yes, sir.
Would be my recommendation.
Thank you so much for that. And just to follow up on that, I do know personally the person who runs the East Point Farmers Market. I'm a vendor there. So I do know how it runs and I have connected with them. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And I think that to Councilmember Gay's points, I think seeing a model like the East Point one makes a lot of sense, especially in the first year, before making a more sizable commitment, just to see how things work logistically. And in regard to what would be the frequency of the market?
Good question.
Be a weekly?
Yes, it would be every week, year round. We wouldn't close during the winter months. We would stay open every week.
To Councilmember Carn's point about us being in a food desert, I have the benefit and the luxury of being able to walk to a grocery store. I do that a couple times a week sometimes. Not all of our neighbors do. So as much as I like the idea of doing it on the, on the City Hall lawn, the folks around City Hall do have access to a grocery store. Is there an opportunity for us to look at the south side for the market to make sure that we are providing access, perhaps at the Wyatt Recreation Center as opposed to doing it on the north side?
I'm open to all those options. I'm even open, now that we're saying that it would be closer to the East Point model, I'm even open to maybe rotating it to different locations so that we can make sure everyone is being serviced.
And you said that if we did something like the East Point model, you would need funding from the city for staff to run it? Is that...
Yes, it would just be for staffing, and this was just me suggesting us have like a set model so that our market looks like a cohesive market. That was my goal, so that you don't have it doesn't look like it was just thrown together.
Gotcha. All right. Well, those are all my questions. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So basically what you're saying is that some of that funding would go to the tables or whatever, all of the aesthetics of the market.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I like the idea of the rotation, but I also want us to, maybe we can look in having a second location. This farmer's market concept, the ask has come from my Ward 1 neighbors. That's why you're here.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we have had several people that have said, we want a farmer's market, we want a farmer's market. So my goal in this is that we provide something here. Not everybody, some people feel the prices in some of our grocery stores are a little high and or prefer to be somewhere where they could really bless some of our local farmers. So that is why a lot of people do go. When I lived in Buckhead, we have a farmer's market that was at the church up the street from me. I lived on West Paces Ferry Road, and all of us, we had Publix grocery store, we had Trader Joe's. I used to walk to the Whole Foods, but on Saturdays, I would go to the local farmers market. So even though these things are accessible, this is what the people want. I would like to also look at maybe a second location, or even we can look at a second day of the week.
That would be fine.
So let's look at all the options, and then we can have you come back.
Okay.
With this is, we're envisioning now, so
Yes.
now we know the information that we need to get back, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll also add that I have talked to Parks and Rec in integrating, because we have the garden over there, integrating our youth participating and teaching them how to sell fruits and vegetables that they've grown. So that's another part of it that we want to do.
Excellent.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you again, Holly. Thank you for everything that you've just you've definitely literally rolled up your sleeves, helped us to get this amazing community garden going, and our senior tech program, and your mind is always looking at how you can make us a more sustainable community. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next agenda item is discussion, proposed public comment policy and procedures, sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie.
Thank you. One of the purposes of this time today is I wanted us to all get on the same page and kind of understand. What I have put on paper is not what I'm saying should be, but it can be a framework for us. But, the goal of this presentation right now is for us to really decide where we're going to go. We talked a little bit about public comments last meeting, and then we had the meeting and we totally disregarded everything that we said. We allowed, even though I think the nature of the conversations and the comments were necessary, and tore my heart apart because I could not respond, but we did go over the 15-minute limit for topics, and we've been going over the 9-minute limit for persons to stand up there. So I wanted to clarify here, are we looking at 36 minutes in total, or is it 42 minutes for public comments? For instance, are we saying that we would give 36 minutes if we had in-person comments and then use 6 additional minutes for email comments, or are we saying that we're going to stop the in-person comments at 30 minutes and add on 6 minutes? I think also there was confusion that we were thinking at one time that we could only use 6 minutes for email comments. And that was never meant to be the case. It was, if we spent 20 minutes in person and there was no one else that needed to speak, then that would leave us the rest of the time for email comments. So, and I know our clerk, this is new, and we keep fumbling it up. So, wanted us all to be kind of clear on what it is that we're looking for. Also, in terms of sign-in for public comments, the only way that we can really know how much time is going to be spent on a topic if when people sign in, they put what they're here to speak about. So we've been having sign-ins for public comments with just the first name, no address, no topic. And my thought is that we need to, if we're going to have rules and regulations or procedures, that we follow that. So we talked, this talks about procedures. It talks about in-person comments. The fact that if a person gets up to speak and they speak for 3 minutes and they want to speak up to 9 minutes, that they would need to have someone that would yield their time, and they could have up to 2 people yield time. Now also in developing this, I must say that there are members of the community that sent me their thoughts on this. So this is not just Jamel McKenzie. This is actually a collaboration of our community members trying to also make it make sense. So we have topic-based. We do say right now that it shouldn't be more than 15 minutes in total. So I don't know, it was put here that the chair of the meeting and the clerk hopefully can begin, or we have to find a way to monitor the discussion time allotted so that we can, make sure that we're not going over those time. So on the second page, page 29, I have topic-based time limits. And then we go into order of priority for comments. So what I'd like for council to determine today is what we're going to do. Do we want to if you like what we've written and we want to, this is what we want to implement and execute, then let's do it. But if you think that we need to revise what has been submitted in terms of persons signing up by 7:30, I think we've been good at that. Email comments being received by 7:30. Audience members who have not signed up, being able to finish either the 30-minute or the 36-minute window, and email comments being no less than 6 minutes being allocated for that. And so I kind of wanted to hear from everybody, see what, if you had a chance to read over this, what your thoughts are, and to really get started with whatever we decide today.
Councilmember Carn.
Well, I've always been a big advocate for public comments. I think that the public comment segment of the meeting is the most important part of the meeting because at the end of the day, we're here to serve our residents. I always try to look to afford residents as much time as possible to finish their thought. Now, one person's finished their thought, someone may consider someone else is rambling or whatever have you. But at the end of the day, it's residents and taxpayers that have a piece to speak, and they need to be heard. And one of the most important parts of human communication is the need to be heard and understood, and that's so very important. Now, I do remember when we had comments for 30 minutes, plus I think it was 6 minutes for emailed comments. So if we're going to 42 minutes, okay, then we'll be extending it, I guess. Also, in terms of the order of priority, now just for me, obviously in-person speakers I think should have priority over emailed comments. If you bother to get up and get down here through traffic and whatever have you, or at dinner time, to come live and in person, I think that should take priority over an emailed comment. Not that the emailed comment is any more important, but a live flesh and blood person, to me, should get the top priority as they took the time out of their schedule to come down here in person. I would suggest the in-person speakers who have signed up, the audience members that wish to speak, and then email comments. But that would just be my suggestion. So,
Councilmember Arnold.
Thank you. I think that we've been talking about this for a minute, trying to get it right. And I think last year when we talked about this, we were trying to construct this in a way where we were living within our 36 minutes, right? When it came to definitely individuals who were signing in, and also trying to address those email comments, which I think at one time we were talking about, breaking it up, allocating 6 minutes on the back end to support the email comments, what have you. Either way, whatever we decide to come up with, whether we do the 36, if we're going to add an additional 6 to make a total of 42, it's fine with me. I just think I do agree that we need to be consistent, right, in however we establish it, so that it doesn't seem like we're just kind of changing it each time that we have people to come and speak.
Councilmember Gay?
I think all y'all made good points. I like Fulton County's model. It allows you to sign in, and then you have a time limit, and it's regulated by the chair. I like, that's just the model I like. But since we on this topic, I think we need to put more emphasis on limiting ourselves, because we're the ones, in my opinion, that carries the meeting way farther than it needs to be. We should limit ourselves to the same kind of, what we limit them, we should, of course we can talk longer, but there's instances where we should have a time limit. I just would like to see us look at that model as well.
We approved 5 minutes.
What?
At the same time that we worked on the public comment, it was supposed to be 5 minutes at the conclusion of the meeting.
The only other thing that I noticed is not the first time we talk, it's the back and forth. Maybe that should only be a rebuttal.
Oh, you're talking about for a particular issue.
Elected officials, when we talk about,
items on the agenda.
Right.
I see.
That's what I would like to limit.
Well, we talked about that. We brought that up at one point in time, and there was no appetite at that time for us to restrict our comments. And I welcome us being able to come up with something that makes sense too, because I think I did hear from a couple of constituents that complained. I don't want to say complain, but spoke out on us limiting their ability to make comments, but yet we can talk until the sun comes up the next morning.
And even if we don't limit ourselves, why don't we come up with a procedure that once you make your argument, each person can rebut it, and then that's it. You got to decide, because it's sometimes it's no ending. It just goes on, and I don't know, are we really accomplishing that thing after a certain period of time? It's like I'm telling them at my house, I stopped listening like 20 minutes ago.
Everybody can catch that.
I think the city of East Point has some specific ways in which they conduct their meetings, and maybe we can take a look at that.
Could the city manager bring some models for us to look at?
Yeah, and I think we'll definitely be able to tackle this and have it just moving like a well-oiled machine, especially once we get the software in place, right? Because then it will be prompting us, opposed to us trying to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And I think respectfully, I disagree with your point, Councilmember Karn, about people in person versus email comments, because there are some people who just can't make it to the meetings. They might have disabilities that prevent them from coming. They might be at work. They might I mean, for a number of different reasons, the only way that they're able to put in their comment might be through email. And if they've taken the time to craft one, I think that they deserve to be heard. So I would think for folks who have drafted, taken the time to draft something, that would get read over someone who hasn't signed up by 7:30. But that's my opinion, and I don't know what the thought of the body is on that.
It's kind of tricky whichever way you go, because even you could have persons, and I do agree. I'm not disagreeing. I'm actually just adding on. It's the challenge is that you could also have persons that are in person that have signed up and they have come here and they don't get a chance to speak, because when you look at it, if you have 36 minutes for public comment and each person gets 3 minutes, the most that we could have really is 12 people speak. And there are times that we have more than 12 people that sign up and they have come here in person. And it's the same thing for the persons that send the email. I think the difference with the email comments versus the in-person is that we are working, and Kelly, you can set me straight if I'm incorrect, but I think that a lot of times the thing was, if somebody has emailed a comment, we try to still get some kind of response to them, or maybe that was something we were talking about. If an email comment doesn't get read, that it could still get a response.
Madam Clerk?
I would have to double check with Mr. Crane.
Okay, because I think that's what he was.
believe so.
I think that's one of the directions he was looking at
Okay.
least, not that we don't get to respond, but I mean, if it's a comment, for instance, now what we have hopefully begun to do, and we'll continue to do, is and this is really difficult for me because I can talk my behind off and I can answer any questions that anybody asks. And to not be able to respond to our residents in the public comment section is very challenging. Sometimes people come here and the things that they're saying, your heart is just going out to them, and you really want to, or they have information that isn't correct, and you really want to you don't want them to leave here feeling like they've been heard. Whereas many of our people, the way public comments are set up, you don't always feel like you might have been heard, but you didn't get listened to, because nobody has responded. So we started this where even though we can't respond, depending on the nature of the comment, we are trying to get a response to persons by the Friday after the meeting. But those are the people that get to speak. And I would say the same thing for the email comments, that there should be a response to them. The difference with the email comments is we don't get to hear everything as a body, but the city still gets that information. So that may be a direction. We'll just see where Bill wants to go. But either way, any person that wants to be able to speak in public comments, whether it be through email or whether it should be in person, is valued. That's what kind of government can we run if we can't hear from our people? So anyway, I would just like to hear from the body. Do we want to go with a total of 36 minutes, which means that we would only allocate up to 30 minutes in person? And if we don't use the whole 30 minutes in person and we've got 12 minutes worth of, 15 minutes worth of email comments, that we fill it up? Or do we want to take it to 36 in person, and in the case where we go over or hit that 36, we would allow 42. 42 would only be if we used up 36 minutes in person. It wouldn't be that we're doing 42 every time. It would just be the exception and not the rule. Does everybody get that?
Councilmember Carn?
I think that 36 minutes is appropriate for a 2-hour meeting, hour and a half, 2-hour meeting.
Okay.
I think that public comments are for the public to be heard. I think they hear enough from us, and I think before we start public comments, the public needs to understand that we need to let them know that we are here to hear your concerns and your issues. A back and forth, I know it's very tempting, and a lot of times I want to comment and say a word too, but
we can't.
We're here to hear their concerns. They hear enough of us after public comments. That's why public comments is first, because the priority are the residents first. I think that all residents are extremely important. None of this can happen without the residents. But the priority, in my opinion, is always the person right in front of you. So I think live and in-person people should get a priority. I think that all email comments should also be sent to us individually and electronically. I'd like to review all of the email comments and get those sent to us, so that even if there is not time for one reason or another, that we get a chance to really review those comments thoroughly. So,
Ooh. Did either, I'm sorry, Councilmember Arnold, Councilmember Gay, any thoughts?
My issue is not standing up here all night. So why I'm saying that is 36, 42, I don't even care if it's an hour. I think we need to limit ourselves, because when they talk, it pushes us down into agenda time. The other thing is we need to limit these proclamations. By the time we do all these proclamations, I mean, these council meetings are not designed for us to be here till 11, 12 o'clock at night. They just aren't. If that's the case, they need to be in the mornings, because all the staff can come. One reason why you don't see Ward 4 down here is because they told me that Councilman Gay, we elected you. You need to talk for us. Now I'm saying that because they don't come down here. They call me. They email me, and I know my residents. Some of them called me so much today, I didn't even return their call about different projects. So, Mayor Pro Tem, it doesn't matter to me. If it's 36, 42, I really don't care. What I care more about is limiting us all to make it an easier night for everybody. That's what I care about. And one other thing, I don't know of any instances recently where people didn't have a chance to talk. I haven't seen that as being like a problem.
It's generally not.
It's just not. In fact, I see people giving away their time.
Right.
And most of the people that have really urgent messages, they come down here and they'll have people talking for them. And then it's being recorded, and they can do emails. So there's a lot of ways to communicate the public to the elected officials. There's a lot of mediums in place now for us to understand what the public issues are. That's my point.
Councilmember, I'm gonna start with you, and because I'm looking at you, and I'm gonna go backwards. But in terms of priority, what would your priority be in terms of the folks who get to voice their concerns?
The Mayor Pro Tem wants 36. You want 36 minutes?
No. Wait, no. That's not the question I'm asking. I'm not talking about the time. I'm talking about obviously the people who've signed in, who are physically present. Number one. Number two, would that be the folks who have emailed, or the people who haven't signed in but are physically present? Which would be two, and which would be three for you?
I think they should be given the same authority, because people can't come down here or won't come down here, or that's just not how communication works today. People like to email, they just don't come. So we want to hear them as well. However, we could get the emails earlier than you get them. Some of you get these emails a couple of days before I meet.
So in terms of hearing those, would your preference be in terms of priority, people who have sent in emails or people who have not signed in but are physically present? Which should come first? I think there's a general consensus that the folks who have signed in before 7:30, they speak first. But then after that, are we dealing with people who have sent in emails, or are we dealing with people who are in the audience but have not signed up? Your preference.
I say let's hear all the people.
So all of the people who are physically present first.
But limit their time.
Okay, yes. Councilmember Arnold.
So what happens then with the people who may have emailed the night before?
I'm just asking you, which
I'm
is your...
just saying, you know,
I
I'm thinking through.
I understand. Do you want me to come back to you?
No, I don't, you don't have to come back to me. I don't think that we were trying to prioritize one over the other. However, while we have people present, it may be easier to deal with their comments, all of the people that are here to speak in person, and then do the email comments.
So regardless of whether or not they've signed it?
What?
Because typically what happens is at 7:30, if you haven't signed in, then like we've got...
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. So the people who have signed in speak, the people who are here speak, and then the email comments. But we need to make sure that we allocate and have enough time to get to those email comments. I don't think that we should let the time run out and not address the email comment. If we need to cut off the time for the individuals that are here, I think we should do that before just ignoring the email comments.
Could we use our time at night or in the workshop session time to hit emails? Like, can they be read before council meeting, or?
It's a possibility.
Because we got time, a lot of time. If she just read them, it don't take that long to read them. She got them before 5.
Madam Clerk?
Madam
Looks like
Mayor.
you want to say something.
Yes, I do have a question for clarification. It is my understanding, speaking with the city manager earlier today, that individuals that sign up to speak, the individual that is speaking needs to sign up to speak themselves, not sign in a whole list of individuals to sign up to speak. Is that correct? And also, this is concerning public comment for this evening, later this evening. There were quite a few, as you mentioned, Mayor Pro Tem, that they did not write their last name and gave limited information. And pretty much at this point, it's one individual signed up, at least 15 individuals to speak.
Yeah, let me respond to that too. Oh, okay. City. Does you want to? Because if not, I can. There was one time before you came, Kelly, that people actually had to go to the clerk and show their driver's license in order to sign up for public comments. We have now gone back to letting the thing. Yes, the person who speaks must sign up for themselves. And, but that's why I want us to get the policy straight, because people also need to know ahead of time before they come here that the policy is you must sign up in person if you're going to speak, and you need to fill out the form. See, if I am my person, then I can put down my first name, my last name, my address, and what I'm coming up here to speak for. But when someone else signs in for, and then what also happens is if in cases like that, if someone signed up for 15 people and all those 15 people are speaking on the same topic, it's not giving other people that are in here the opportunity to speak if we don't cut it off at 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for that clarification. Madam Mayor, may I make a comment in regards to the public comment I received this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Or today, earlier today? Then all of those individuals, I kindly request you to go to the back podium to sign up to speak this evening.
Okay.
Well,
thank you.
One thing I will
Councilmember
say,
Carr?
I wouldn't go so far as requiring identification.
I'm not saying we have to do that, but that's what we were doing.
No, I understood. But it does tend to happen where people will load up the public comment list from time to time. I've seen that happen. You know, it's a little bit of manipulation in there. But there are other ways we can do it in terms of monitoring. The sign-in sheet is at the back of the room there when you come in the door. Now, it could very well, if we have sign-up starting at, what time does workshop start? 6:30, right? 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Well, if sign-up can start as early as, 5:30 or 5:45, maybe the sign-up sheet can be down here with the clerk's office or with the officer, and the person would have to come and sign their name, first and last name, and the officer has the sign-up sheet, or maybe out in the lobby even. And then you have a more accurate list, and folks have come to sign in. You've got someone there monitoring things, and that way, I think that may be a in-between compromise.
I think it's a very, if people want to sign up to speak, I think we should let people sign up to speak.
Absolutely.
If they've signed up someone else and that person was not able to do it get here to sign up for some other reason, I think that's a slippery slope that probably lends us to limiting people's speech, and I don't love it.
I don't agree with that. It's not limiting people's speech to have regulations. There's a such thing as protected speech, and I would think an attorney would be aware of that. You have a policy, and what we want to hear from people, but we want to hear from everybody that can speak. The reason why we changed, or we tried to make the sign-up process different last year, is because one of my residents came to sign up to make an announcement, and there were 20 names or so already on the back and the front of the sheet. And that individual, and most of those names didn't even show up that night, but that individual left here discouraged, thinking that they wouldn't have an opportunity to speak. And so we were trying to make this so that it's fair for everyone. We can speak for 15 minutes on the same subject. 15 people signing up for the same subject are not going to be heard, but it can discourage somebody who wants to sign up when the sheet is totally taken up. So there's rules. It's just like we have rules here. There's people that may want to speak during last meeting, we had a group and that deserved to be heard. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely feel for what's going on in their community. But they came down to speak during public hearing, and they wanted to speak on something that had nothing to do with the public hearing. And the chair of this dais right here shut them down and would not allow them to speak because it was protected speech. It was a time that you could not speak on that issue. And so I think we just need to be clear to people that they understand that there's 15 minutes for each topic. One person can get up and speak on a topic for 9 minutes. And this is not to cut anybody off from speaking or to infringe upon your First Amendment right to speak. But it is also the fact that we do not want our rights to violate the rights of others to have an opportunity to be heard. And so there are rules and regulations that are set up that will allow everybody that opportunity. And so if we do have people my thing is tonight, whatever it is, but we still need to stick to the 15-minute per topic. I wouldn't take anybody that signed up tonight, but I think going forward, we just need to have this published so that people who are coming understand what the policy is.
And I think that the part about 15 minutes is published, and so we will certainly stick to that this evening as we go into public comment. And I want to clarify, when I said limiting people's speech, I really meant limiting people's ability to speak, thinking that we have, essentially people need to show up twice, possibly, and if someone else can sign up for them. At the time, I personally don't have that much of a problem with it. But, I mean, others might, and that's totally fine.
There are municipalities where they do not even let you speak on an item that is not on the agenda.
True.
Okay, so College Park is a very open, embracing municipality. You can come up here and talk about, lollipops and lemons if you decide that's what you want to speak on. We do not limit a person's ability or what they want to speak on, but we just have limitations on the time. And again, that is designed to give people, anyway, I think the main thing is that we need to determine, are we going to do 36 minutes completely with public comments, or are we going to do up to 36 minutes in person? And then if we do 36 minutes in person, we would make sure we add on 6 minutes for email comments. which means that, again, that we may finish in-person comments with 23 minutes, which would give us from 23 minutes to 36 minutes for email. But we wouldn't go to 42 minutes. Only time we would go to 42 minutes is when we have used 36 minutes for in-person, which gives the persons who have signed in and the persons who have not signed in up to 36 minutes to speak in this assembly.
What is your preference, 36 or 42?
I'd like to have the 36 in person and then extend it to 42 if for some reason our in-person comments go past. I think 30 minutes is not enough if we would have to cut it off.
Councilmember Carn, what is your preference?
I'm fine with a total of 36 minutes total. I think should be enough. I also agree with the yielding time by no more than 2 individuals. I think that's a fair, doubling of time if someone wants to share. But 3 and 4 people sharing, I think it gets. We want to hear from everybody. So,
Councilmember Arnold.
I'm completely fine with the way that it is now. So whatever the time is, and I think it's 36. I'm good with that.
Councilmember Gay.
36.
All right, I heard 36.
Okay, so
it'd be
36 minutes.
Hold on. So we're looking at 36 minutes total. So that'd be 30 in person and then 6 minutes for email comments.
I also think the two-person yielding time, no more than 2 people.
I think that is in our.
Is that there? Are we sure?
Yes.
So two people can yield time on. Okay. All right.
I think it
So
is.
6 minutes for a maximum of 1 person.
Well, no, basically it means that 30 minutes we end all in-person comments. And then then you have 6 minutes left for email. That's what you all have decided.
That's what
So
we
it's
heard.
no 42 minutes anywhere.
36. All right. So that's the end of the workshop. We'll see everybody in, let's go to 7:35. Just give everybody an opportunity to take a comfort break if they need it. We'll see you at 7:35.